Hello, hello. Welcome, guys. As you guys are logging on to the live stream today, I am excited about our guests that we have today. So come on in the comment section below. Don't forget to say hey and let me know where you're streaming from as you come in. We're super excited to have some good conversation today. Great things are on the way for you and for all that you're trying to do in this season. This pandemic is not putting everybody down. For some of us, this pandemic is a come up. So we're going to explore what that come up looks like. We're going to explore what that level up looks like. I want you guys, as you come in, I see some people logging on. Awesome sauce. Thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're in our Leader to Leader live, and I am ready to rock and roll. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are ready for this conversation today because it's going to be a juicy one. We're going to talk money. We're going to talk about ideas. We're going to talk about entrepreneurship. It's going to be great. All right. I see y'all coming in. Great, great, great. Great job, guys. Come in, like, invite, and share in the comment section below. Tell me where you're streaming from. Say hello. Don't just come on and not say nothing. Come on in and say hello, hello, hello. Yes, 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 yes. We got Dawn on. We got Elle on. Hey. Good, good, good. I see a lot of people coming in. Awesome. You guys are amazing. This season has not been a downfall for everybody, but for some of us, we are navigating this season well. We've got some plans. We've got some ideas. We're ready to take on the world, and we're ready to do something we've never done before. And so for that, we need to have a conversation with you as a leader. So today is going to be great. I don't want you to log off. Stay to the end. We got some great things coming on. As a matter of fact, let's be a blessing today. If you're coming on and you see this live stream, if you're watching the replay, feel free to do it in the comment section below. Drop your Cash App. I think I want to bless somebody with lunch on today. Drop your Cash App. Me and my special guest, we're going to pick somebody at the end of this, so you don't want to miss out. You want to know that you won. Stay plugged in to this conversation. It's going to be great. All right. Tag another leader. Tag them. Invite them in the chat. Share it with them. Make sure that you let them know it's time to talk about how we are leveling up in the pandemic. We're talking about entrepreneurship. We're pursuing our dreams, but is our dream really a business idea, or is it just a dream? Is it just an idea? We need to have a real conversation about how we are moving forward. All right, I see the Cash Apps coming in. Hey, wonderful, guys. That's great. Don't forget to tell me where you're streaming from, what city, what state. We are ready to talk. We are ready to really dive into this topic. Like I said before, this pandemic has not been the downfall for everyone. Some of us are thinking long term. We're thinking what's next. We're preparing ourselves to come out of this stronger than when we went in. And that is the beauty of this process. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Chanel Ramsey, and you are now watching the Leader to Leader live show. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We're going to have this conversation today, and I have a special guest that's going to be joining us, and I'm really excited about that. You guys are coming on. All right, I see Barbara's on, Jenny's on, Vanessa's on. All right, guys, come on in. I see we got we got Brooklyn in the house. We got Queens, soon to be in Cleveland. Hey, Heather, how you doing? We're so happy that you guys can come in. We got Old Westbury in the house. Wonderful. You guys are doing great in the comment sections. I'm excited to have this conversation with you today. Those of you who know me, hey, those of you who do not know me, my name is Chanel Ramsey. I'm a leadership coach, church consultant, ministry strategist, helping leaders, businesses, organizations, and churches to pursue excellence, all right, and reach peak performance in the area of event management, organization management, and people management. I love what I do and I do what I love. I love coaching people. I love having one-on-one sessions. If you want to know more about me, you can always go to my website, coachramsey.com. You can follow me on Facebook at Coach Ramsey, and you can also find me on Instagram and YouTube at Coach Me TV, right? I want to coach you. I want to be your coach. We have been talking about so many great things, and this is my live that I like to do. It's called Leader to Leader. It's where we have a candid conversation with leaders about leadership and about life, okay? It's about what your role is and how you're doing it. I'm a firm believer, Jenny, that you are not just here to serve, but you need to serve well, right? You're not just here to lead, but you need to lead well. And if you're going to do something and you're doing it for the kingdom of God, you're doing it in God's name, that you need to be doing it strong, you need to be doing it in excellence, and you need to be making your God mark on the earth. So I'm excited about just sharing with you about entrepreneurship, because I'm an entrepreneur. I think I actually might be a serialpreneur. I think I'm moving into that. It's like I have this like multiple business thing going on that I did not anticipate, and somehow I got here, but I'm here. And so many of you might feel the same way. You have this burst of inspiration. You have all of these businesses and ideas, or you have an idea that you want to make a business. This is the time to do it. This is the time to move forward in that. We got Anaya on. Hey, this is the time to do that. You know why? Because while the world is in panic, we as a church are in preparation. All right. We are in preparation. We are moving this thing forward, child. Okay. We're not going to sit on the sidelines and let life happen to us. We're going to make life happen. Okay. And I want to just challenge you guys, you world changers out there, you business owners, you visionary leaders, those of you who have a dream on the inside of you, don't let this pandemic kill that dream. Okay, look at this pandemic not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity. All right, y'all need to write that in the comments. This pandemic is not an obstacle, it's an opportunity. That's how you have to change your perspective on it so you can begin to move into the prosperity that this season has to offer. We talked about this past week, Tuesday. We talked about don't allow the interruptions to make you miss the divine instructions. A divine interruption still, even in the midst of that, you can still receive divine instructions. And on yesterday, we talked with Pastor Emanuela Young, and we were talking about the post-pandemic church. What's going to happen when this is over? How do we prepare? Taking the temperature of our leaders, right? Are we up? Are we down? Do we got a fever? Are we cool? You know, are we playing it safe? What are we doing? And so we talked about that yesterday. Great conversation. If you missed it, go catch the replay. I see more people coming in. This is wonderful. In the comment section below, don't forget to type it. This is not an obstacle, but it's an opportunity. That's right. That's the mindset you have to have, because we're about to go into this conversation today with my special guest, because we are diving into entrepreneurship. We want to talk about this. We need to talk about this. This is real. You know, I'm reminded of a story in the Bible where it talks about the widow woman. She had a son, but she was in debt. Y'all remember that in Kings, right? I think it was like 1 Kings, 2 Kings 4, and she was in debt. And then the prophet came to her while she's like, okay, I'm about to just, take my son, let him work off the debt. We're going to just, do what we do. And the prophet said to her, what do you have in your house, right? And he used what she already possessed, multiplied it in order for her to be able to pay off her debt and live off the rest. How many of you all know that God has a strategy for you to pay off your debt and live off the rest? Come on. This is something. What's in your house? What's in your mind? What's in your heart? What dream did he give you? What idea do you have? An idea is like a seed. It has to be planted in order to grow. It's not going to happen because you wrote it on paper. It's going to happen because you put the work in and you decided, I'm going to become an entrepreneur. All right. So we're going to talk about this today. I hope you're ready. If you're ready, give me some thumbs up, give me some hearts, some likes, and let's get going. All right. Give me some. Y'all ready for this conversation? Let's get this train rolling. And those of you who just logged on, don't forget, like, invite, and share. Share. Invite. Let's get more people a part of this conversation. I'm going to post your comments, so say some good stuff. Let me know that you're on with Chanel Ramsey. Here we are. I've got a special guest. Now, this dude his energy, his charisma, his posture, his passion for life is Wonderful. I love, just even in a texting conversation, I could feel his spirit was like, yeah, I'm on the right course. I'm moving, I'm flowing, I'm doing life. And I wanted him to come on and just share with you. He's got something new, guys. He's got something new that's brewing. It's going to be good. It is going to be good. And so I want you guys to listen in at this conversation as I introduce none other than Andrew John. Come on in, Andrew.
Hey, what's going on? I love that intro. Thank you.
You're welcome. So tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and we're going to jump right into the questions after that.
Sure. So I'm 31 years old, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, to a wonderful Caribbean woman. Went to Nyack College. Woo, woo. So if there's anybody in Nyack in the comments,
Shout out to Nyack.
Big up yourself. Graduated with a dual degree in theology and communications with a minor in business. Then went into Wall Street for 3 years, from 2010 to 2013, about 3.5. And while kind of, building my business acumen, still in ministry, but still having a thirst and a hunger for business and to understand the human psychology and how money works. So that's, a little bit about me in a nutshell.
Awesome. All right, all y'all Nyack people, come on now. I see some people saying, whoop, whoop. All right, okay, I see you.
Yeah.
I love Nyack. We partner with Nyack with my organization Power Up on a few events, and so
Awesome.
Nyack has always been a blessing to us, and we've always been a part of the Nyack life. Okay, we love it, we love it, we love them. So it's good to have you on today. I'm thinking about this topic of entrepreneurship. All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just tell you right now. Everybody shouldn't be an entrepreneur. So we need to have a candid conversation about entrepreneurship. Okay. This is one of the seasons where it's rough for a lot of people. And so we're resorting to our ingenuity, our innovation. We're looking at, like I talked about earlier, what's in my house? What can I use to produce an income? But income can't be the only drive for entrepreneurship. As you know, if you're an entrepreneur, sometimes up, sometimes down.
Sometimes down.
So everybody's not ready for that fight. It takes a lot of passion, a lot of drive. And so I wanted to start with this question about entrepreneurship. Do you feel that entrepreneurship for a Christian is different than just an average entrepreneur? And if it is different, how so is it different for us?
I'm gonna say yes and no. Because as a believer, our morality, our perspective, our worldview is governed by something higher. So there might be certain business practices or certain businesses that may look lucrative and that may make money. But then at the end of the day, when I talk to God and when I fellowship with the Holy Spirit, the question is like, okay, is this right? Does this sit well on my conscience?
Wow.
And I might look at my counterparts and they're making money and they're killing it and they're making it rain and whatever, and I'm in the back. You watch the you ever watch the movie 10 Commandments where Aaron realizes that he did something wrong, and while everybody around him is jumping around, he got the incense in his He's like, it's kind of like that in a sense where my belief system genuinely governs not only how I do business, but what business I'm willing to get into.
Wow, that's good.
And that may mean that because of my conscience, I might see other individuals and even other believers getting into certain businesses and doing things that I'm just like, hey, if your conscience is well with that, power to you. But it doesn't sit well with me. And so I'm going to have to go the other route. I may have to be Aaron with the incense on this one, but you go ahead.
Wow, that first of all, now you're gonna make me watch the movie again. I have to see that scene, so that just messed me up. Okay,
Yeah.
through that long movie to watch that scene, but that's
Yes,
amazing. I love what you said because being a believer governs how I do business and what businesses I get in. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. But that's the difference. And like you said, it's a yes and a no. And I want you to deal with the no part. So the yes part is it definitely governs how I do business and what business I get into. I know I have one friend. I know I love him to pieces. So he came to me with a business idea. We're gonna have a little tea right here, okay?
yeah,
He
go
came with
for
a business idea, and he said to me, "Oh, I want to get in. I want to get in partnership with this guy. He does business, and he had a whole name for it, and the name was just snazzy. Like it was like, oh, I like that. Got a nice ring to it." And he was like, "Well, it's an escort business," and I said,
it. Okay.
"So let me back up. So you, the believer." Want to get in the escort business, okay? I think we need to have a deeper talk about what you
I
believe.
don't know. Yeah.
So, like you said, it governs. It governs. It rules. It gives you a guideline. The Bible says this in Proverbs 14. There is a way that seemeth right to man, but the end of
Man,
that way is death. And you got to
destruction.
be
Yeah.
careful. And all of Proverbs. I love Proverbs, by the way. All of
Absolutely.
Proverbs talks about connections, community, people, who you find in your circle, because you got to be careful. And
Mhm.
so, needless to say, he did not pursue that endeavor. But it was interesting. I
That
mean,
that was even a thought.
that wasn't even a thought. I was like, right. My intent, crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
God bless you guys. So y'all understand what we're trying to say. So give us the no part of that. So it's different in that way, but how is it the same? Being a Christian entrepreneur and just an average person that decides to pursue entrepreneurship. How is that process the same?
So the unfortunate thing, and I'm gonna kind of go this route. The unfortunate thing is that we live in the 21st century where capitalism is a part of our culture, and most Christian institutions are not necessarily geared and equipped to talk about money in a way that's healthy and not looked at as demonic. We think that
That's
because
good.
we think because we're believers and because we're Christians that our belief governs and rises above things like profit and loss, things, things like a break even, things like supply and demand, things like equity.
Mm,
Uh, and the truth of the matter is, it doesn't.
it doesn't.
It
Wow.
doesn't. And that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with business, because as I started working on Wall Street and understanding numbers and sales and marketing and branding and these things, um, this may be controversial. Maybe it is or maybe it isn't.
Go
But
for it.
uh,
Go for it.
numbers are not emotional.
Wait a minute.
Numbers, the aspect of supply and demand, the aspect of understanding the market
Mm,
is okay. You, if for the viewers' sake, and we're Christians, it's as spiritual as it is intuitive and extremely practical.
come on.
So you might feel led of the Lord and passionate that this hobby of yours is gonna take off because you got 10 prophecies and 12 confirmations, and
Yeah. Yeah.
5 birds came and pooped on your car, and so you just feel like God is talking.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that
Sure.
may not be the pulse of the market. And though that's important to you it may not necessarily be important to the market. So as much as you have cried and fasted, and you may have to learn how to pivot and find something that the market wants, or that the market has a desire for, to create the avenue to whereby you can make your hobby your business, but your voice may not be big enough for that to be practical.
I need you to stop right there. Where's my pen? Where's my paper?
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
I can't do this today. I can't do this today. I can't. I'm not prepared for this conversation. I'm not prepared for this, Travis. I'm not prepared.
My bad.
Dr. Robinson, I'm not prepared for this. Did y'all see this? Did y'all hear that? I need something stronger than this coffee.
I'm sorry.
I need coffee because I'm drinking tea. I'm gonna need coffee. So I need something with a kick. This is too much. I should have went to Starbucks before we started. Wow. Okay. Okay. Your voice might not be big enough. Whoo. Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but you need to understand that. For example, to my friends, I say this all the time. I'm only 31, right? So if I say it, it may come off as pride, but if TD Jake says it, it's going to come off as wisdom.
Right.
My voice is not big enough. So we might say the same thing. I might get 15 likes because my friends love me, and TD Jake. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's important to understand that, and to be real with yourself about that. So
no, I love what you're talking about, because when we start really diving into entrepreneurship, we have to stop leaning so much on the spiritual and start looking more at the practical. Right now, an idea is spiritual, right? Because it's unseen. It's something you receive. It's a transference of information or revelation from a information realm or a God realm to a human perspective. Okay, we got it. It starts off spiritual. It's inspiration. It's God breathes. You got it. You received it. Now there is a cooperation in a practical realm that needs to happen as you begin to walk out what that idea looks like in the public. And so I love what you talked about, how money is not emotional, right? That's really important, because sometimes I feel, and we're going to get into the pitfalls of entrepreneurship, is we don't study before we launch, right? We got an idea. We got that thing. It's burning in our soul. We know for sure it's what we're supposed to do. But we don't study. We don't study the market. We don't work on branding, packaging. And then here's a big thing for a lot of people: timing.
Yeah.
If you would have studied, you could have looked at the pulse of what was happening before you launch and said, okay. I love what the Bible says with Mary, when the angel came to her and said, look, you're going to have a child, and she's like, I don't know a man. And she went through that whole dissertation. But when she walked away from the angel, the Bible says that she pondered those things on her heart. She didn't go around announcing it. She didn't put up a flyer. She didn't go buy business cards right away. There was a process. She was letting it sit with her for a while. And I feel not that people are zealous, but sometimes our spiritual vigoration and our excitement about what we have, we move too fast. And we don't ponder it. We don't study. We don't maturate. We don't get counsel. How about that? There are things that we should do before we launch as an entrepreneur. And so I loved everything that you said that kind of put things in place for a person that's looking to be an entrepreneur, which leads me to my next question. What would you say to a person who feels entrepreneurship is their path? What would you say to a person that feels like this is what they're called to do? Like, this is my lane. I'm an entrepreneur.
There's a lot I would say, but if we're just talking conversation, I would first just kind of gauge their emotional temperature and say, hey, are you willing
Mm.
to suffer?
Yeah. Wow.
Are you willing to, like, an arrow has to pull back before it launches forward, right? And
Yeah.
pulling back may mean you're working 3 jobs, but you might have to sacrifice one because you don't have enough time to work your vision. That pullback might mean you can't hang out as much as you used to.
Come on.
That pullback may mean you might have to look at a computer screen daunting for 10 hours
Yeah.
while everybody else is watching Netflix or doing whatever else they're doing. That may mean at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning while everybody's sleeping, you drinking some coffee, going like this, and your hands hurt. Like, whatever that pullback is for you. Let's go another route.
Wow.
Are you willing for your immediate circle to not support you? Like, are you emotionally ready for that to happen? Because the Bible says, right, that when Jesus went back home, he could do very little because the people that looked at him was like, yo, weren't you the God that just made my couch 3 years ago? What you talking about?
Come
You
on.
walking on water and healing the sick. Man, if you don't build, this table for my wife and keep quiet with that stuff, like, are you willing for that to be the case? And that's not to say that there's maybe something wrong with you, but that is to say that your immediate core, they're used to the you before you realize that there's something different about you. Like, they're used to that. So your immediate circle, they're used to the lazy you. They're used to the procrastinating you. They're used to the you that doesn't necessarily dot every I and cross every T. And that's okay. And you're gonna have to make your inner circle believers. And that's for some people, that's daunting emotionally. And so are you ready for that? So that would be my first question. That would be like, are you ready?
That was fully loaded. Fully loaded.
Yeah.
And one thing that I love about entrepreneurship, and because you talked about the sacrifice, you talk about the suffering part of it, because you can get real happy about your idea. No, your idea makes you feel good. Your dream, it soothes you, man. It'll keep you up at night, and you're like, oh man, I can't wait to do this, and all of that kind of stuff. And when you get into it, you're like, okay, this don't look like what I saw.
What I thought.
Yeah. This is not even. This is like, okay, I'm coming up short somewhere along the lines when it comes to this area. But you know what's really powerful is that you have to be able to say, if I'm working a 9 to 5, that I'll do a 9 to 5, but then my 5 to 9 is my business.
I'm working.
You got to be able to commit to that kind of, I'm going to work after work.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are not willing to do that. You got to work after work. And like you said, putting in that time, that sacrifice, man, and what it takes is discipline, right? So many people want to be entrepreneurs, but you don't yet carry the level of discipline. There are many people that have a great idea, but it doesn't mean it's a business.
Absolutely. I used to say that. I learned this. The curse word when it comes to business is execution. Like, everybody got ideas. Doesn't matter. Like, everybody would have been rich if I had done this thing. Like,
come on.
Everybody got those ideas, but it's like, are you willing to execute? And sometimes, listen, execution is not fun.
No. No, it's not. No, it's not at all.
Sometimes it's not fun. However, it's the exchange for having the opportunities that you want to have and living the life that you want to live. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I love what you talked about, where your audience, your friends might not be your supporters, right? And I love how you put that in perspective about how they see you versus how you see yourself right now. And sometimes we think that people change with us, right? We done got an idea. We're a business owner and we're just ready to go on out there. And it's like, your friends are like, you sure about this? And what I want to say to that is, one, I totally agree with what you said about people just kind of seeing you in the past light. And then I think the other thought that I want to submit is that sometimes that's not your audience. If I have if I have a business where my product are strollers for children, but all
Yeah.
my friends are single with no children, why do I keep trying to make them buy a stroller?
They not.
They're not my audience.
Yeah.
And so I think that sometimes I feel like here's a duality in that sometimes if your friends become your initial supporters, right? Because there are degrees, right, or phases, or of support. So you have your early adapters, you have your people that come on. It ain't even the mainstream yet. They're ready to go with you. But
Yeah.
here's the problem is with our core group that latches on and support us in the beginning. We got to be careful that we don't forget that they're not the audience we're trying to reach. Because what we do is we get real comfortable because all of our people are supporting us, but they buying your book but not reading it. Like,
come on. Come on.
Thank you for buying the book, but I'm out here to change lives. Like, thank you for supporting me. It's like, you registered for my conference, but you won't even show up because it's not a conference for you. You're just trying to be my supporter, but you taking up a seat that could have went to somebody that was my actual audience. And so we got to be careful that just because we are getting the support from our friends, that we don't get comfortable and realize that there's three realms of support or people that will follow. You have your core, you have your crowd, and you have your community. And sometimes we get stuck at our core and our crowd, people that just know us. You never reach the community. You want people to buy your stuff that don't know you.
And allow me to kind of submit this. My old boss on Wall Street used to say, you don't get $1 million stock tips from the person driving your taxi. Obsessed, when it comes to business, like I was raised by animals, and it kind of brings this notion of like, if you're my friend, then let's keep it real. Most of the time, we're on the same level, like we're on the same wavelength, which means that we're sharing the same information. We're in the same, sometimes not for everybody, but a lot of times, at least close knit, like we're in the same tax bracket, even the same financial information. Sorry, but kind of not sorry. I can't beat down your door for advice.
Yeah.
And it's not a knock against you or my immediate circle, but I can't, because where I am trying to go, you are not there.
Yeah.
Which leads into this, and I'm pretty sure we were going to tackle this anyway. Who are the people that I'm getting knowledge from in order to complete my dream and my vision? Who are they? I have to find them.
Yes. And what I will add to that is this: who's mentoring you?
Yep.
Because see, you got a lot of horizontal relationships. Y'all all on the same page, all striving, all pursuing. But now who has achieved what you're trying to achieve that you are allowing to mentor you? And sometimes, again, we launch without that information. You need to find a mentor in that field, and it's free, especially if you're African American, minority, woman. You just Google it. There's a lot of business owners that want to mentor people, and they put it online for you to sign up and be a part of their mentoring groups, so that you can get the information that you need. Because there's something called the law of introduction. And people don't understand the power of that in the realm of business and how it works. You need somebody to introduce you to that next level, next level of information, that next level of exposure. And if you stay just with your people, then you go, that's the level that you going, that's the glass ceiling that you're going to continue to hit. So I love it. Okay. All right. This is the last question, and then we're going to move it to kind of closing this up because we're going to be here all day.
Go for it. Go
This
for
is
it.
too good. We're going to be here all day.
Yeah.
So, tell me about your new endeavor, right? Let's segue, because I know entrepreneurs are online. I'm watching all of the comments. People are getting it. I want you guys, make sure during this time you're liking, you're inviting, you're sharing. I see the comments. You guys are here. You are you're engaging. I love it. Great conversation. But share this with somebody else. Let them be a part of this conversation, especially if they want to pursue business or they already started. Many times you can start with an idea and then it starts to blossom into something a little bit more. And you're like, okay, wait, this was just a live, but now it's a workshop, and now it's
Yeah.
invitation. It starts to become something else, and so you want to get prepared for the expansion you're expecting. So continue to listen in, like, invite, and share, and let's take this a little bit deeper. Andrew has some good things on his agenda in these next couple of months, and I want him to share with us because, again, this is good information. And when you come in, don't forget to say hi in the comment section below. Tell me where you're streaming from, and drop your cash app so we're gonna bless you today. We're gonna give you lunch. We're gonna bless somebody with lunch today, okay? Because this is too good to just leave it where it's at. All right. Do that in the comment section below. And Andrew's gonna tell us a little bit about what he does. Come on, what's going on with you? What you got on the
Sure.
burner?
I'll try to package all this in 5 minutes. So earlier this year, I was really sitting and thinking and saying, you know what, Lord, I want my faith to mean something. I want my faith to matter. I want, when I go to sleep, that I can go to sleep knowing that my Christianity pushed me into action, that my faith pushed me to actually do something and touch the community. Because as much as we're Christians, and we've developed this kind of internal bubble of commerce within Christianity, there's still a dying world that needs what we have to offer, that may not come to our services, that may not come on our lives, that may not walk into our community centers, but they're out there. And so I thought about it and I said, you know what, Lord, I want to create an avenue of touching and feeding the homeless, right? Touching and feeding the homeless. And so, right, we talked about mentorship, and the first organization that I looked at was the Salvation Army, right? I looked at the Salvation Army. I looked at their structure, and then I said, okay, how can I take this model, because I love their mission, I love what they do, and my heart beats for that. So how can I take their mission and what they've done and modernize it and tailor make it to, myself? And so that's where I came up with the True Foundation, True being an acronym for They Are Us, whereby, we're empowering the least of these. So I, started taking money out of my own pocket, buying toiletries, toothbrushes, toothpastes, washcloth, soaps, things of that nature, and literally riding the trains, finding people that were homeless on the street, laying in the city or wherever, taking time out of my day, out of my week, and not only providing them with these essentials, but then praying for them. I then went a step further and I said, okay, how can I not only do that, but what local shelters can I walk into? Who can I contact? Who are the program directors, whereby I can go in and ask, how can, even though I may be just one person, or, ask friends to join me, but how can I help service you guys and help to alleviate this growing problem, especially in inner cities with homelessness? So I started to do that. And then I thought to myself, okay, how can I create kind of an ecosystem around this philanthropic issue of homelessness, whereby I create businesses that have their foundation or their bottom line be helping the homeless. And so I literally tripped and fell into True Digital Designs, which is a platform that I created for digital designing. One of the things that I became good at is designing websites. And so I created that avenue, not only to help individuals, you know, get their websites up, get their flyers up, things like that, but then to take it the next, to take it further and say, hey, a portion of every single order, a portion of every single website is going to go to helping the homeless, helping individuals that are less fortunate. And I kind of want to end with this. If we study business, and we study businesses that have been successful, what you'll find is a lot of them have philanthropic backbones, right? A lot of them have foundations that are birthed on and in the avenue of philanthropy. And so just kind of studying those that went before, as you said, you know, mentorship and just studying the culture, I say, you know what, this is something that is an asset to individuals, but also helps the homeless. And then boom, we have this pandemic, and then everybody's online, and it's like everybody needs websites done. Everybody needs some type of a digital extension of their brand and their product. And so True Digital Designs were born out of that.
Awesome. So this is what we're gonna do. Some people are asking for our Cash App, so you can put it down in the comment section below. But what I love about what you talked about, and you hit something that was really, really key, and I want people to really hear that, especially if you're a Christian entrepreneur, that the backbone of many businesses is serving people. It is serving people. And sometimes people get in the mindset of, I'm starting a business to make money instead of to serve people. And if you start digging in, there is a me to we effect. And that's what I call it. It's, I'm not looking at me, I'm looking at the we. I'm looking at how I can help humanity. I'm looking at how I can serve the people around me. I'm created to solve a problem for people, not just for myself.
Yeah.
And there's so much money in that. If people would begin to, and it's because it's a divine idea. It's how we were created to function. Yeah. We were never supposed to be independent. We were always created to be interdependent. And so when you start realizing that God is about family, he's about community, he's about people, then you start building your business around that and understanding that even if you're selling toothbrushes, you're solving a problem for people, right? You're serving people. You're helping to make people better. And think about that when you're building your business. How is this serving people? Not self-serving, but how is this serving people? And I think that a lot of people will find that there's a lot of money in that, even grants and things of that nature that people can tap into because you're willing to serve people. So I thought that was good. Now you got a live coming up. Tell us about that, the Facebook Live. Tell us about that a little bit.
So in the midst of what's going on, I felt as though at least my Facebook timeline was becoming very noisy, whereby, you know, as soon as the pandemic happened, you know, my Facebook Live and others, I would assume, became one long prayer vigil. And and though there's room for that, I felt historically that there has never been enough conversation regarding believers, business, and money. One of the most disheartening things for me, which kind of drove me down this path when I was younger, was I was listening to one of Beyonce's albums. Yes, sometimes I listen to Beyonce. Okay, we got that out the way. We got that out the way. All right. And she did a song that was I forget the name of the song, but she did a song that was basically saying, like, when I die, I want people to know that I was here. Like, I want people to know that I existed. And I'm sitting in the bed, I'm listening, and I'm like, yeah, like, I kind of feel that way too. And then I get this flood of information and this flood of, you know, as a creative and as an entrepreneur, you have those moments where it feels like there's a faucet over your head and just so I'm sitting on my bed and like this is happening. And so I go to my church and I'm like, guys, listen, I got an idea. I feel like there's something that we can do, or we can all increase revenue, build business. Everyone at the church that I went to, and shout outs to them. I'm not gonna say the name. I still love them. We're still friends, but it did something to me. Everyone that I talked to said to me, I'm gonna pray for you. You're amazing. You're gonna be a trailblazer. You're gonna bless a lot of people. And at the time, I was already working on Wall Street, where these people, we already know, right? But I was already working on Wall Street at the time, where my faith was starting to do this anyway.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, guys, I know we're going to pray. I know we're going to fast. I know we're going to be a blessing. But we got to put pen to paper and we got to make this thing happen. Not one person was able to do that for me. Okay. I went back to Wall Street to my big brother, right, who's still my mentor to this day. He's not a believer, but he mentors me in the areas of business and finance and marketing and that stuff. And I say, hey, man, I got this idea for a business. And I just don't know where to start. And he said, okay, tell me what it is. And in 15 minutes, he went to the dry erase board, drew it out, boom, okay, bang, start there. And I was thankful for him, but sad for my community.
Yeah.
Like, I had to go to him to get what I needed, that there was nobody in my community that said the name Jesus that I could have gotten this from. And so Believers with a Bag is what I called it. Believers with a Bag was kind of created from that heart, you know, in the midst of this pandemic and in the midst of us figuring out normal life now. Where's an avenue that believers can come to that love entrepreneurship, that have this entrepreneurial itch, but they're scared. They don't know what to do. They may not know where to go. They may not know who to contact. And we don't know that there's people around us that are making it happen in silence. There's people around us whose voices may not be as loud as a Mike Todd, may not be as loud as certain individuals that dominate the Christian space, but they're happy. Right. They're making money. They are living lives of purpose. They have gems too. They've learned lessons too. They have streams of income too. And so, you know, just to create a platform for that explicitly for the believer.
Absolutely. I love it. I love the idea. I think that at the end of the day, it is necessary. If you guys are on, this is, what date is this starting?
So this is starting next Thursday. Next Thursday at 9 p.m. is going to be the first one. We're also going to have Pastor Chanel on. that day is going to be dropping shortly. So definitely.
I love it. Believers with a Bag. I'm excited about it. Christian entrepreneurs balancing God and money. I love it. You could be a believer with a bag. You got to have that. You got to have that increase. You got to have that increase. That increase brings you to a place of influence, and that influence can bring you to a place of impact. Okay. And if we want to impact the world, we need to get that increase first. All right. So I love it. I love everything that you said. I think that today's conversation was necessary. If you missed it, we only scratched the surface, by the way, just so you know, there's so much more that we can say about entrepreneurship. I mean, and just how to take your dream and turn it into a business. We didn't even dive into that. What are your steps you need to take? You know, what are some of the pitfalls and challenges? And there's so much we can talk about when it comes to entrepreneurship. But I just want to encourage you guys, if you're an entrepreneur out there, don't forget to tune in Thursdays at 9 o'clock. Andrew John's going to be on. He's going to have on special guests. Who's the guy that's doing it with you?
So he's my first guest. So his name is Jamal Toles. He is a member of a church I used to go to. In the church, we literally called him Black Wall Street because While everyone's coming to church dressed down, he got, you know what I'm saying, his completely fitted suit with his collar and his watch and his whatever. But he's worked in the financial sector for over 10 years on Wall Street. Has been senior director, vice president, president of several businesses. He's African American, married, has three beautiful daughters, and has a heart for business. And he's real. He's straightforward. He's blunt.
I love it. It's going to be good. So y'all need to put that on your calendar. Don't miss it. Believers with the Bag. Don't miss it. Tune in. Those of you who love what we talked about today and you've been a part of this, Tiffany, L, Tian, Tanya, so many great people. Jenny is on. All these great, wonderful people. If you have been blessed by the content we shared today, don't forget to like us. Follow our pages. Make sure that you do that. And you join our communities. If you are part of YouTube, you can find me at Coach Me TV. You can see this and so much more on that YouTube channel. And my podcast is out. It's called Lead It or Leave It. All right, my podcast is out. Lead it or leave it. If you're going to lead it, do it right. And if you're not, leave it alone, okay? And if you want to hear real talk about leadership, real strategy, some tools that you can use when you go back to your church or your place of business, I want you to check that out. It's on all mainstream podcast platforms. And this has been great. Thank you so much. Andrew, how can people get in contact with you? Is there a website? Is there an email address?
Sure. Absolutely. So you can email me, truedigitaldesigns.com. Email me. Please check out the website. Right now I've put up a affiliate program. So if you come to the site and you're referred to by someone else, I've created this for podcasts, for avenues like this. Once an individual goes to the site, gets a website, that's $50 into the affiliate's pocket.
Love it.
So definitely check that out. My Instagram is simple_Drew. Love Jesus. Got a pinch of ratchetness. And I'm down to earth. So yeah.
Yeah, everybody check him out. Thank you again, Andrew, for being with us today. Those of you who really enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to hit him up. Believers with a Bag is going to be live on Facebook Thursdays at 9 p.m. starting next week. We're super excited about that. If you are a business owner, entrepreneur, you're looking to take what you're doing to the next level, you're looking to launch what you have as an idea, turn that dream into some lucrative opportunities, or just birth that dream out that's going to impact and serve this world, I want you to take advantage of my coaching services. Book your business strategy session today. Go to coachramsey.com, see more about who I am and what I do, or you can go to powerupnetwork.org/coach-Ramsey, and I'm on there as well. That is my organization that empowers leaders to live a healthy life, therefore leading a healthy ministry. I've been your leadership coach, Chanel Ramsey. If you enjoyed this today, if you're watching the replay, hey, if you enjoyed this today, don't forget to like, invite, and share. Tag somebody in this, and I'll see you next week. We're looking at Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for your Leader to Leader Live. Love you guys. Hope you got something out of the conversation today, and we'll see you soon.